The Suraksha Health Insurance scheme. This has been marred by many irregularities, but today's revelation is about an irregularity that could cost the government of Sri Lanka billions and billions of taxpayer rupees. Let's first get the facts straight. Suraksha Health Insurance scheme was initiated on the 1st of October 2017. It was on Children's Day. They held a big ceremony and they initiated this program. But the first phase of the program ended on the 30th of September 2018. Now, the Suraksha Health Insurance schemes deals with 2.7 billion rupees being the children of this country, 4.5 million students between the age of 5 to 19 being insured for 2.7 billion rupees. Now, out of this 2.7 billion rupees, it must be noted that 2.3 billion rupees were paid to an Indian company for reinsurance. But those facts aside, so for the second phase of the Suraksha Health Insurance scheme, tenders were called in July 2018. Now, these were competitive tenders, and of course, as you know, the procurement procedure, the contract is being awarded to the company that bids the lowest. Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation were the company that held the first term contract for the Suraksha Health Insurance scheme. When tenders were called in, when competitive tenders were called in for the second phase of this program, international organizations also bid with the local, the public institution, which is Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation bid 1.85 billion rupees, while Alliance Insurance bid 1.63 billion rupees. So, of course, Alliance Insurance has bid less than Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. However, contradictory to the usual procurement scheme, the Ministry of Education decided to award the contract to Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. However, in the face of these issues, Alliance Finance appealed to the Procurement Appeal Board. It's a three-member committee set up at the Presidential Secretariat. It's being set up by the Cabinet of Ministers. Now, the committee considered this appeal that was forwarded by Alliance Insurance, and they decided that Alliance Insurance should be awarded this contract and that Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation should be disqualified from the tender process. So on the 4th of January, the Cabinet did decide to go with the decision of the Procurement Appeal Board and award the contract to Alliance Insurance. And on the 11th of January, the Education Ministry too decided and notified Alliance Insurance that they will be awarding the contract for the second term of the Suraksha Insurance program to Alliance Insurance. Now, the problem lies here. Tomorrow, the Secretary of the Ministry of Education, the Secretary of the Finance and Media Ministry, and the Chairman of the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation have been summoned to meet the President. Now, this is because the Employees Union of the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation are demanding that this Suraksha Insurance Scheme contract be awarded to Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. What are the reasons that they present regarding this? On the 21st of December 2018, the chairman of the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation writes to the President regarding the reasons why the Suraksha Insurance Scheme should be awarded to Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. They say that Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation is the only insurance corporation in the country that has enough branches to conduct this program properly, and that they are a public institution. And as a public institution, the money will not be going outside of the country, as opposed to when it is given to an international organization like Alliance Insurance. Of course, the problem here is the fact that the first time they insured they were awarded this contract, a premium of 2.7 billion was paid, and as I mentioned before, 2.3 billion rupees, about 90% of this premium, was paid off as reinsurance to a foreign company. So there is a bit of a contention with the facts that were present here in this letter that was sent to the President. And also this year, when the competitive bids were called, when the tenders were called, of course, we called competitive tenders, or the ministry called competitive tenders, to accrue the benefit of competitive tenders, and they did so. The prices reduced from 2.7 billion to 1.6 billion according to Alliance Finance. Now, the problem here is the fact that if following the meeting tomorrow, the agreement with Alliance Finance and the Education Ministry is just due to be signed on Friday, the 25th of January. Now, if by chance this contract is being decided to be awarded to Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, contradictory to the assurance given by the Education Ministry to Alliance Insurance, Sri Lanka will be in a situation where they might be liable to an arbitration case filed by Allianz Insurance, which is a German company. It's a multinational company. They can file an arbitration case in a foreign country, and Sri Lanka will be liable to pay close to 10 times the amount that they bid in this tender process. So who are the officials that are involved in wasting so many billions and billions of Sri Lankan taxpayers' rupees? Now, when we brought this Suraksha insurance scheme into the limelight, when we brought the irregularities into the limelight, one fact that we continue to point out is where was the commission money that was given as when the Suraksha insurance policy was being reinsured to an Indian company? Where did the commission money go? Now, this is again millions and millions of Sri Lankan rupees. Now, when we inquired about this issue, what the Education Ministry did was they set up a separate fund of 100 million rupees. This fund was allegedly to insure students for the illnesses or the ailments that are not covered under the Suraksha insurance scheme. But it was revealed that this fund did not exist in reality. The ministry held an event and launched this fund, but it did not exist in reality. So many irregularities can continue to surround the Suraksha Health Insurance scheme, and we here at News First will continue to report on these irregularities and the massive wastage of public funds that is occurring right here in Sri Lanka.